Do you
Yeah.
do you believe the Kim Porter book? Do you think that it's real? Because now it's
Okay.
what it's the friends that are like saying, "Oh, she wrote these diary entries back then, and now we're publishing them now."
Okay. So I have to say, at first I did. At first I did, and I didn't obviously get my hands on the book, but I watched this amazing creator break it down over like 6 parts, right? And she spoke fast and I took copious notes so I could share it with my audience. And then, so one day, I think 2 days ago, I released like a lot of the details that seems so real, but they are bad, you
Yeah.
guys. Like the worst of the worst things you could ever imagine, you're hearing about in this book. Immediately, people are starting to say it's not real. Amazon has removed it from their shelves.
Oh.
You cannot purchase it on Amazon. The link is broken, like you can't find the book. Her family, of course, is coming out and saying it's not real,
Yeah.
and many people are saying it's not real. I'm someone to not believe anything anymore. Like now I'm so cautious of everything I hear. For example, her family, her 4 kids with Diddy have released like a joint statement this morning saying, all these rumors and this never happened to I like, do I believe that her kids actually wrote that? Do I believe anything about this? No. I think that it's so many bad things happen. So whether or not she wrote the book or her close people wrote the book and put it under her name or I don't know. But because it's not confirmed, it feels like an illegitimate source
Yeah.
because it's just like think about the worst possible things you can read and it's in that book.
And some people have read because you said the TikToker broke it all down in 6 parts. What was in the book, right?
Mhm. And whatever is in this book and whoever wrote it really truly like made him and I mean, I think he is a monster. I don't think
Yeah.
anyone can question that, but really doubled down and named names. And I think that that's why it's so crazy. Now, someone in the comments is saying, like, there's absolutely no way that this book is real. Her kids just said it wasn't real. And I just want you to remember that OJ Simpson's kids defended OJ after Nicole Brown was murdered. And I think it's very, very hard to take a children's account on
Yeah.
something. It's so hard for kids to go against their dad, who's been their sole parent
Yeah.
for these last however many years and has been their sole provider and affords them a very, very nice lifestyle, I'm sure. Come on. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I want to respect their kids, which is
Yeah.
why I don't think we should go into detail of what's in this book.
Yeah.
I just can't believe that the kids have the answer or know the
Yeah,
truth.
because you also have to understand, like, the kids, that's still their mom, but she's no longer here. So I'm sure they don't want to believe this stuff about their father, on top of the fact that they still want to respect their mother. And, like, they don't want somebody running around with a book that that is in some way exploiting her, but may or may not actually be her words, right?
Yeah.
Because we also don't have, my understanding is the book itself doesn't have like her actual entries in like her handwriting. It's all typed out. So that's also questioning the legitimacy of it too.
Yeah, there's no like super, super proof of it. And so unfortunately, I feel like it's just really salacious. If it's true, it's shocking. If it's not true, and I think it's somewhere in between.
Yeah. I agree. Now I'm seeing every day it's like another article of another celebrity being tied to Diddy, whether it's Ashton Kutcher or Khloe Kardashian was at these parties, or they have photos of Jessica Parker at Diddy parties. Do you think that all of the Khloe Kardashian and Sarah Jessica Parker and Ashton Kutcher and Leonardo DiCaprio and J-Lo, do you think they're all involved in what Diddy was doing?
No.
I
And
don't
I
think so.
think that to go to someone's party, we've all been to events and parties held by people that we don't agree with their takes on life and like
Yeah.
see what they're doing in their spare time. How many people have gone to parties at, criminals' homes and had no idea? Like, or even just your neighbor's house. You had no idea that he was meanwhile, running a fraudulent business and you had
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah.
Like it happens all the time. So these parties were big PR events, right?
Yeah.
Regis Philbin was at one of the parties. Like,
Yeah.
when I saw Reach, I was like, "Oh, we're good." Like, this is the clean version of the white parties that he would have. I think he had 2 versions of parties. He
Yeah.
had his Hollywood parties. It was like all the executives, the agents, the managers, the studios, the, celebrities, the big names would come, and then there was a select few that would stick around until, the sun came up in the morning or at a different party.
Yeah.
I don't believe that all of them are involved. However, I do believe some of them dabbled.
Yeah.
I will always think Ashton Kutcher is involved.
Yeah. There's something I agree. And to your point about the parties, I don't think that this was openly happening in the backyard in the pool, right? Where everyone's hanging out. I think there was probably a separate section where, a room in the basement. I mean, not the actual basement, but they have like theater. They have all these other, I'm sure he maybe even
It's a
had a room
huge
dedicated.
palatial
Yes.
mansion.
And
Yeah.
I'm sure that was like the ultra VIP. If you know, you know. If you know
Mhm.
the passcode, if you know the knock on the door, they let you in. Not literally, but
Do 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 do
figuratively.
do
Yeah.
do do.
Yeah. But it's happening not out in the open. It's happening with the select group of people that know what's happening and they're doing their thing, in Dorit's bathroom. You know what I mean? Like there's Lisa Rinna who's stuck at the table and she's at the party, but she doesn't know what's going on. But everyone else is in Dorit's bathroom doing what they're doing.
Yep. No, 100%. So I want to be very clear about that, because a lot of people get very upset. I can't believe that you're assuming just because someone
Yeah.
is at. No one is. No one
No.
is. I think there was a huge circle and web of people that were involved, most of them being in the music industry. And then there was probably some people who dabbled a little bit, maybe did some drugs with him,
Yeah.
maybe, hooked up with some of the girls that he brought to the parties, whatever, but weren't necessarily engaged in these so-called what they call freak offs, these late night crazy, really, really maybe dangerous for some of the people involved kinds of nights.
Yeah. Ashton Kutcher. So there's an interview. I think it was when he was on Hot Ones, the YouTube show, and he talked about having some weird memory lane moment when he was thinking about the old Diddy parties and how he can't talk about that stuff. How deep do you
So
think Ashton was?
okay, listen. I don't know anything,
Yeah,
right? I'm just like everyone else.
speculation.
The only person that knows is Ashton. I just know this. Ashton Kutcher is married to Mila Kunis, who he met when she was underage on a TV show. Does that mean that you can't be in love when you're both consenting adults? No, of course that means like they did everything legally,
Yeah,
right? As far as we know. But there's something a little bit strange about that world.
yeah,
The Scientology, the Danny Masterson, the disgusting, horrible stories of, SA and Grape with Danny Masterson.
yeah,
And the fact that Ashton and Mila wrote that letter, which really ruined their career last year,
yeah,
like that letter was so wildly shocking to see because Ashton and Mila, who are Ashton, forget Mila, who is Ashton Kutcher before the Danny Masterson stuff? Ashton is like, I'm the good one,
he's a good guy.
right?
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm the fun one. I'm the sweet one. I'm the smart one. I'm the one that, invests in Twitter before of course it became like, where it is now. But I am like really into kids growing their education and stopping child sex trafficking. Right? I'm going on into Congress and talking about how all these bad things. There is something about people like this that always make me go, especially when behind the scenes you're, talking to a judge saying how amazing this convicted, you know, can I say the R word here? I don't know if I can on
I don't
YouTube.
either.
Okay. The convicted rapist
Yeah,
is how amazing he is. And please don't give him a hard sentence. So that
yeah,
already put us under with Ashton.
yep. And
I do believe Ashton Kutcher was definitely engaged in some
yeah,
shady activity.
and then remember
Oh,
the
and then the girl,
video.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember the girl.
His
Um,
date. He was gonna go on a date back in
yeah,
the, 2000 something, I can't remember. He was going on a date, and he went to her house, and wow, that woman just was murdered.
yeah. It's crazy. And then remember the video that him and Mila put out where they just seemed so like she seemed so irritated that she had to talk about why they wrote the letter and like
Mhm.
it was like a weird like under duress video that they put out to defend why they wrote that letter for Danny Masterson.
The video was worse than the letter, in my
Yeah,
opinion, for their
I
careers.
agree. I agree. Like they should have
Yeah.
just never addressed or issued a statement or something. Like Mila looks so pissed in that video.
It looked like she was like, "You stupid MF, you've told me that if I wrote this letter, no one would ever find it." Like,
Yeah.
she was so mad. There's no way that their marriage hasn't struggled since
Oh, for
then,
sure.
and now there's all these blind items.
Yep. About them now. They're what, not living together and stuff?
Yeah, I do there are some things that I've heard from people that are at the same school that they're at with their kids, and they are still being seen together and stuff. So, I mean, I don't think that they're in a position where they're like, "Never talk to me again,"
Yeah.
but I can't imagine a marriage is gonna be easy to survive all of this crazy, crazy stuff.
Well, now people are saying that Jennifer Lopez, J Lo, and Ben Affleck, the reason they split is because of her relation to all the Diddy stuff that he discovered.
Very possible.
Do
I
you
think he
really
just couldn't
think J
stand
Lo
her.
was involved? Yeah, I don't think he really liked her that much. I think he thought he did, and like when you rekindle with an ex, like you're in that honeymoon phase, you're like, oh, it's meant to be, and like you just kind of get caught up in that, and then the public is egging it on, and I just think he got caught up in that because he also, if that was the case, then he wouldn't have been with her at the Polo Lounge. What was it, last week with the
Yeah, no,
kids and
I
stuff.
mean, they have a really weird toxic, like, on and off feeling. They're like do you watch, Tell Me Lies?
No,
Zach,
I know.
get on that. This is like toxic crushes, like, it is literally a show about, like, being into the guy that is the worst person, and you can't get over him.
Hmm.
And this is I feel like it's a Ben and Jen sitch.
Although she's the worst person.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've all heard stories. She was definitely in a lot of those pictures from the white parties. I mean, she was around during those times.
Yeah,
I just think it's the company you keep.
yeah, and listen,
It's the
and
company you keep.
that's not to say that she's complicit in it or she engaged in it, but like it, a lot of times what people don't realize is when you have a figure like Diddy who is so powerful and influential, I think similar to like Tom Girardi, people
Yeah.
just are like, I'm not going to look. I'm going to stay over here in
Mhm.
this corner. I'm going to drink my drink. I'm going to do whatever's on the table and enjoy my night and have fun. I don't need to know what he's doing in the other room over there. I don't want to know. I'm just going to enjoy myself. And if I don't know, I'm good.
It's it's actually pretty scary to think about how many people are that's happening with still to this day.
Hmm.
How many really high-powered people I mean, think about it. If you are and even this horrible new lawsuit that came out against him yesterday. So this new lawsuit came out from this woman, Talia Graves, and she had a big press conference yesterday with Gloria Allred. And you know when a woman gets up there with Gloria Allred, like, it
Yeah.
is a big one. And I believe every word of it
That's
because,
who Rachel
hello,
Leviss needed.
she really needed not Bethany, she needed Gloria.
Yeah.
I still think it wouldn't have worked for her.
No.
So Talia is talking about how in 2001 there was this horrible experience that she had in a studio with Diddy and his I can't remember who it was. This Sherman guy, Joseph Sherman, but I don't remember how he's related to Diddy, if he was like a lawyer or a business partner or whatever. Um, this new story that has come out about him, it's just because now people are feeling so much safer to say,
Yeah.
but she's been holding on to this for 23 years. And it sounds awful
Yeah.
if you look at the details. So she's been holding on to it for 23 years. People are petrified, which is why I've become obsessed with everything online that Jaguar Wright, Cat Williams,
Mm.
and Gene Deal are saying. And those 3, I I'll stick with Jaguar and Gene because those 2, Jaguar Wright was a singer who worked with all of these people, and she was backup singer for Jay-Z during like when he did his MTV Unplugged performance. That was like a really big deal. It was like the top, Jay-Z moments. So she was around. She was around during all of that, and she is opening up and saying a lot. And then Gene Deal, he's incredibly smart. He was Diddy's bodyguard. He saw everything.
Yeah.
He saw everything.
And so he's now coming out and detailing everything?
Yeah, they have been. That's the
Yeah.
craziest thing. They
They
have
have
been.
been. Well, like Aubrey O'Day.
Yep. And we're like, "Oh, they crazy. They are so crazy."
It's interesting. What do you think of the Jay-Z and Beyonce relation to it? Do you think that there was some involvement?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know about Beyonce. I can't speak on Beyonce, but I
Yeah.
can speak on Jay-Z because Jay-Z was very much connected to Sean Combs in those early years. I mean, Kim Porter talks very much in that alleged book about Jay-Z being there. Jay-Z and Sean Combs. Well, it's Sean Carter, isn't that his name?
Yeah.
I think it's Sean Carter and Sean Combs now. It's like confusing a little bit, all their real names and their, but yes, they were very much aligned and together. And Jaguar Wright has said many times, she said she's only signed 2 NDAs in her entire life, and both of them have been with Jay-Z. And she said every single thing about Jay-Z leaves her with shame to this day, which is crazy
Yeah.
because Jay-Z is like, again, the nice one,
Yeah.
the
Well,
nice, good one,
I was
right? But
watching, are you familiar with Aphrodite on YouTube, the psychic?
no.
Okay. So he's a psychic. He pulls cards. He does a lot of celebrity readings. And I
Okay.
was watching his video, and this was days before the Diddy arrest happened. A couple days before, he did this reading, and the reading was on Nicki Minaj, or it was supposed to be on Nicki Minaj because I think she has an issue with, I think it was Jay Z. There was some issue that she had that eventually the reading ended up becoming all about Jay Z and Beyonce. And he's like, oh, there's some darkness around their relationship right now. And he's like, Diddy did something. And Diddy has money that's not clean. I'm paraphrasing. And Diddy has some money that's not clean. And now whatever's about to go down is going to affect Beyonce. And she's pissed at him. And then next thing you
Mm.
know the Diddy arrest comes out. Jay-Z begins getting connected to it. And then it became about Jay-Z being related to like the Diddy stuff and being involved or knowing or having shared companies where assets were moving through to protect Diddy in some way, and how Beyonce is connected to it through her marriage with Diddy, or sorry, through her marriage with Jay-Z, but she's not directly involved. But now she's pissed because now she knows that this is going to hurt her career and her image altogether. And so, you know,
Do you remember when Beyonce's sister,
oh,
like, punched
yes,
Jay-Z?
in the elevator.
Like, something's going on there.
Something's been going on there.
For sure. For sure. And Jay-Z was definitely around during all these years. They had so much business together. They were in and out of meetings together, in and out of events, probably, going to doing all these parties together. There is no way. Like, I can't wrap my brain around the fact that's the Ashton Danny Masterson connection too. It's like
Yeah.
if Danny Masterson was engaging in all this bad behavior and you were like so broed out with him that you were besties and spending all your time together, like come on,
You knew.
come on.
You had to have
And so
known.
I personally cannot ever wrap my head around the fact that Jay-Z is like, wiped his hands clean of any of this. Like he was just living his life singing his songs. No, come on. Like they're all, and the problem is with all of these people is that because they were in so much power, because they had so much money, because they were so scary, truly scary from the stories we've heard of how many people literally either got their lives threatened,
Yeah.
got their careers blackballed
Mhm.
completely, and died,
Yeah.
actually lost lives.
Yeah. Well, Aphrodite was doing a reading specifically on Diddy, and he was like, oh, Diddy is a truly dark, evil person
Mhm.
and has known that he's going to go down for a while. And he was getting worse with what he was doing because he knew the House of Cards was going to fall at some point. So he might as well just live it up until it did. So he
Yep.
knew this was all coming out, which is why he kept all of this blackmail on people. And he's predicting that Diddy's just going to start singing like a canary. Like Diddy knows, like at this point, it's good. I'm good. I'm going down. Like, and if I'm going down, everybody's going to go down with me. And that this man just has no soul. And like everything that we continue to hear about him really does. And then you hear about the interview that he did back in the late 90s where he was talking about how his parties are going to get him arrested someday.
Yeah, and he's telling Conan with the whole audience laughing, like, "I lock my girls up in the room." Like, everyone's like,
Nobody thought
So
that he was
funny.
yeah, nobody like actually believed that that was like a real thing, and he was just so casual with it.
It's shocking, and then the entire thing about the taping everything, so he filmed everything. Diddy filmed every single thing he did. Apparently, the feds found, tons and tons of video evidence, which gave them
Yeah.
the ability to do what they've done with the raids and the arresting and not giving him bail. Like, this is all because they have evidence for
Everything, yeah.
everything, and so Diddy was so I mean, I don't wanna call him stupid, but so, uh, maybe I guess the word is, like, untouchable in his brain. He felt he was so untouchable that I'm gonna film everyone else doing this so that they know that they can't get on my bad side, because if they're on, my bad side, like, they're screwed. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna film them. He didn't realize he's filming himself. He's basically giving in evidence like, "Look at what I've done.
Yeah.
Look at what I've done."
And
And there's just to me, I feel like I think what gets me the worst, what really affected me with the worst is the Justin Bieber of it all.
yes, I was going to ask you, what do you think about the Justin Bieber stuff? Because a lot of people, I mean, we have to be fair, it is all speculation, but when you look at it, something happened to Justin Bieber. And so what people are saying is that he was likely under Diddy's thumb, and that, that Diddy was taking advantage of him. And, I think Justin, as we've seen in recent years, has been going through a lot. We saw these photos of him like crying with Hailey Bieber out in public, and
Yeah.
it's crazy.
So Justin was a young boy.
Yeah.
If you go back, one of my favorite, I love a music documentary. I'm
Yeah.
always like, I love the Dixie Chicks documentary. I love that one. That's a great one. I love the Pink one, the Lady Gaga. Like, I watch all these documentaries. If you go back and you watch the Justin Bieber documentary, the first one that he ever did, and it was when he was like, just starting, Scooter Braun days, Usher days. And he was 12 when he was discovered, or 14, I can't remember. And Usher is basically he's given to Usher from his parents,
Yeah.
like, "Take my son," and we're all watching this thinking, "This is so sweet. This is so great." Like, Usher is such a good boy and, like, such a good guy. What a great mentor to have in the industry. So we're all watching the VMAs and all these events where they're showing up together arm in arm, thinking, like, this is so great for Justin that he's given this opportunity. Justin looks so happy. And then, Usher gave Justin, apparently, this is allegedly, to Diddy to kind of also mentor him because Diddy mentored Usher.
Yeah.
So now Diddy mentors Usher, teaches Usher a lot of bad ways, probably. Usher then mentors Justin, teaches Justin all kinds of bad things. Justin then goes to Diddy. And a lot of people, Gene Deal, the bodyguard, is saying, you know, uh, Diddy only knew what he knew because he was taught this.
Yeah.
Like the people in the music industry that found him, Farrell, I forget his first name, and Clive Davis, and all these people. Like everyone, it's like you're teaching this behavior. You can do all these things because you're powerful. You can treat all these people this way. You can act however you want to act towards these women and men,
Yeah.
right? And Justin Bieber escaped this somehow, um, and has fallen apart, right? Mentally, emotionally, you see it. And he's in an interview, and I love Justin Bieber. I will always love Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
But he's in an interview that I posted yesterday. I talked about and covered on my show yesterday, where he's talking to a reporter about Billie Eilish. And Billie Eilish really looked up to Justin Bieber. She talks about this a lot, like before she made it famous, like that was her icon. And he started crying. He was like, I am so nervous because I don't want to be a bad example for Haley. Not Haley, sorry, Billie Eilish. I don't want her to go through what I went through. And he starts to cry during the interview. It is such a sad moment. Justin Bieber really got, in my opinion,
Yeah.
victimized like big time.
And I think a lot of people would see these breakdowns and think, oh, it was because there was a lot of media pressure. There was a lot of press on him. There was a lot of pressure on him to like make music and make money. And he was so young. But it's like when you look at it now, it's like there was a lot more deeper that was going on. This emotional reaction that he's having, in recent years, I think is him trying to make sense of it or trying to process it, which I'm sure for a long time he didn't allow himself to process any of this. And now that it's all coming out, I mean, there's probably even part of him that like feels conflicted that this is becoming public, and there's like a level of shame that he has to carry by, having this information revealed.
Oh my gosh, of course, because he was just a kid.
Yeah.
And, like, what kid doesn't get, your music, like, Justin grew up probably listening to Diddy, like, this was huge for him, and he's hanging out with Jay-Z, and he's hanging out with, Usher and all these 15,000 other people that just, like, they were giving him alcohol, like, probably, right? For sure, they were giving him alcohol and God knows what else. They were probably throwing women on him.
Yeah.
They were probably or maybe throwing men on him. I don't know. I mean, I can only imagine. Like, this is how to party. You get this car, you get this, you get that, you get this chain. And like, what kid, how many of us would do the same? Right?
Yeah.
Like, not knowing the difference.
Yeah.
Like,
You're
it
not,
feels so
yeah.
amazing in the moment. We're getting all
You
this
don't know any
attention.
better. Yeah.
It's so sad. And being a mom of two young boys, like, I always say this, I've said it from the beginning. I'm a former casting director for kids. That's why all of this stuff really affects me. I've seen all these Disney stars like go up and down and up and down. And like, putting your kid in this industry, music or anything, is quite possibly the most dangerous thing you can ever do. Like, we talk about them playing violent video games, please. Like, this is danger to put yourself. I guess there's people like Taylor Swift who've made it out okay because their mom literally never left their side.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
horrible.
crazy. And then did you see the video of Justin Bieber at one of the parties? And who was he with? It was two other guys that he was with in the video. I saw it circulating on TikTok, and it just
I saw it too, and now I can't remember, but shady.
shady. You can tell like he's not all there. He's clearly under the influence of something. And it just, I don't know. It's
Trey Songs.
Trey Songz was one of
But
them.
I don't think that that's what happened. I'm looking at the comment. I didn't see that. I
Oh,
just
yeah,
saw
yeah,
that he was
yeah.
at the club.
Yes. And so that's what people are saying that it looked like, because he was head down, and then when the camera comes on, he kind of like moves up, but he's head down in somebody's lap, and I believe it was Trey Songz's lap.
I can't. I can't. I can't.
And
I can't.
it's
Like, I cannot handle how sick and disgusting. That's why I'm like, someone sent me a message, like, we get a lot of love and hate from our listeners, and someone sent me a message and was like, you are the most disgusting person that you're, talking so badly about Diddy. You don't know he's not guilty. I'm like, wait, what? There are people actually that think he's like, this is all fake.
yeah.
It's so wild.
Listen, and I'm always on the innocent until proven guilty, but it's like at this point, it's not necessarily about being proven guilty in the court of law, which will happen, I'm sure, at a very soon time. But it's like these other people have been telling us these stories about what's been going, like it's all happening right before. It's been happening right before our eyes. We just haven't wanted to really believe it.
100%. 100%. And it's, Zach, I mean, I don't want to sound crazy here, but I feel like I've already become crazy with this whole story. Because now I was deep diving last night. Like, is Twitch connected? Was Twitch
Oh,
connected?
was he? What do you think?
Ellen and Diddy were very close. Just saying.
Do you think Ellen's
Now, like, some of
connected?
this can be conspiracy theory, and I
Yeah.
love a good conspiracy theory. Like, I am Craig Conover through and through with the foil hat. Like, I want to like go down all of these, but I do believe that actually Diddy was responsible for the death of my grandfather in 2001. Just kidding. Like, I just think that everyone and anyone who has died in the Hollywood industry somehow is connected. Like,
Yeah.
did anyone look up like why did Robert Kardashian actually die? Like, what's like, my brain was going to bad places. Like, I'm starting to question everything now.